Scrolling on social media and on our phones is probably the worst habit that we can have. Because of that, you cannot focus, you are distracted, and you cannot do shit. Like you can't work on something, you can't study well, you can't do your kind of projects, make videos. But today I'm going to share some of the things that I did in my content creation, in my improvement journey, that actually made not scrolling on social media so much more fun and easier to resist. So the first thing is actually accountability with like-minded people. I thought that this is nothing, but actually you can join, top link in the description, in our community, where what we do is that every single day I remind myself and other people that today we have to scroll less than 1 hour on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and that is not all. Every single person, every single day knows that even if they scroll, if they don't scroll, in the evening they will have to post their screen time. So whether you have 5 hours of screen time or you have 30 minutes of screen time, we are posting it. And what this did is that it actually made such a big difference, and it actually made me so much more fun, and it made so much more enjoyable to not scroll on social media, because not only other people are judging you, but you are actually comparing your screen time, you're seeing what others do, and then you feel ashamed of your actions. So just doing one simple thing by joining, top link in the description, what it did was that it cut my screen time probably from 2 to 1 hour to 30 minutes every single day, because it's like you have to compare with your peers, the others are pushing you, and it's like a good motivation. You know that every single day you will have to post your screen time, and that forces you to change. So maybe that's not really a funny thing to do, but it actually makes your scrolling less, guaranteed. Now, the second thing is actually much more realistic, and it's something that works if you put in the effort. So it's actually finding really cool and interesting activities. So it's not like instead of scrolling, you pick a book and you read, which is also great, but in order to quit scrolling 100%, you need to do a few of things. And you have to replace it with something that is even more fun and is even more enjoyable. So in my case, a few examples were that I started to go on mountain bike rides more often than usually. I learned how to do wheelies on my bike. I learned how to jump with my bike. I started drawing some scary things that I will show in other videos. Just every single day, instead of scrolling, I would scramble something, I would sketch something. You could practice music, you can pick a new skill to learn. So for example, you pick finances, so you can read a book on finances. Every single day you can open ChatGPT and just chat with it, try to learn new concepts, and in a fun and interesting way for you. So actually doing cool hobbies can help you switch scrolling, because, well, scrolling, watching social media bombards your brain with a lot of dopamine. So you get rewarded for scrolling on social media. So in order to quit it, you have to replace it with something that is equally as fun and equally as interesting. So whether that's learning for you, whether that's going outside, playing basketball, riding your bike, learning extreme sports, practicing a new skill, practicing music, making music. Like I play music every single day, I create my own music, I play the piano, and this is my interesting skills that actually allow me to quit scrolling. Because I have something similar that if I don't scroll and I do that habit, that skill of mine, that action of mine, it's actually not a big deal. There is no big difference between the interesting thing and scrolling. But when you try to replace scrolling with, let's say, meditation, so you see yourself that you don't quit. Like you say to yourself that I will quit scrolling by journaling, or I would quit scrolling by meditating or just reading a book. You've seen this yourself that it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not as fun, and your brain does not get a reward for reading a book until you have quit scrolling for some time. Because scrolling gives you a lot of reward, a lot of dopamine hormones, which actually make it so interesting, so fun, and you can't resist. So we have two things. That was accountability with like-minded people that you can have in our community, and that was practicing interesting things. So not just meditating, not just journaling or some kind of self-improvement activities, but actually picking up some hobbies, picking up some outdoor sports, I don't know, running, walking, exploring something, going into forest, walking your dog, practicing piano, practicing music, drawing something, learning a new concept such as finances, crypto, or just AI, or learning about climate change, anything that you want that is interesting to you. So now we have two things, and there's one last thing that actually made a really big difference. You have to understand that you don't need any more tutorials, you don't need any more guides, and you don't need any more motivation. When I understood that, it actually changed the way how much content I make, how much videos I made, and how I'm able to stop scrolling. It's really simple because you, after scrolling so much, after scrolling through countless Instagram reels, watching countless tutorials on YouTube, you actually know most of the things. And this was with me. I thought that in order to become a content creator, I need to learn more about how to film. I need to read more books so I can teach you something. I need to have some kind of accessories, have some kind of stuff in order to film. But that's actually not true. I knew all the information. I knew that I have to place my camera, I have to press the record button, maybe I make some kind of script, some kind of text, and I just film videos. And that's it. You don't need any more information. And when you understand that, you know that instead of scrolling, instead of procrastinating, you can actually try it for yourself. So what I did, I began filming videos. I began doing some school projects without looking at ChatGPT or different kind of tutorials, because I know most of the stuff. If I don't need something, and if I really need to know something, to find some kind of concept or solve a problem, I can Google that and that's enough. But what you need to understand that there are a few dangers in your journey. Most of you go to school, and I go to school, and what happens is that most of your day is spent in school. So you get tired, you cannot do your own projects, you cannot do your own hobbies at school because you have to learn. And when you get back home, you have a few hours to choose from aside from doing your homework or learning new material. So you can either procrastinate on your phone, watch new tutorials on how to do something, and then what happens is that you don't do anything. You just watch the tutorial, and then you go on to study for your school, learn something, or you just continue to procrastinate. But what happens if you stop scrolling? You can actually replace that with doing the thing that you're learning about. If you're learning about how to make videos, you can actually spend the time after school to make some kind of videos. If you are constantly learning, constantly scrolling on how to start a business, well, you know most of the things. You know that you have to pick some kind of skill, pick some kind of thing that you like to do, and you have to try to help other people with that, and you get paid. Maybe you have been learning about how to draw, but what's the point of scrolling and learning about it if you don't try it? So this was the last and probably most fun thing, because I understood that you don't need any more information. Like, you actually know something. So if you just sit for a week, sit for a month, and just try doing that yourself, try making videos yourself, maybe they will be horrible, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are doing it yourself. You don't need to watch any more tutorials, any more motivation, any more quotes, because you know them. You know them and you can actually take the action. So here are 3 simple steps how not scrolling can be made so much more fun and easier to resist. So join our community, top link in the description. I can help you personally. Like-minded people will be able to keep you accountable. You will post your screen time, so it will definitely fall, and you will save yourself hours of focus, hours of not being distracted. Then understand what are some actual interesting things that you could do. Interesting and cool hobbies. Going outside, riding your bike, learning a new skill, learning a new concept, I don't know, practicing extreme sports, playing music, creating music. There are countless of things that you can choose from that are actually equally or almost the same fun as scrolling on social media. And lastly, you have to understand that you don't need any more information. You know most of the stuff. You know how to press the record button and create videos. You know how to start writing, I don't know, newsletter, start writing some kind of scripts. You definitely know how to start drawing on your paper. You just pick a paper, you pick a pen, and you draw. You don't need any more tutorials to begin. So when you understand these 3 things, you will definitely quit scrolling so much faster. So again, you can join the community. I post every single day, and see you tomorrow.